Frankie, you broke the unwritten law. You ratted on your friends. When you do that, Frankie, your enemies don't respect you. You got no friends no more. You got nobody, Frankie. Pretty good, huh?
What about that Marvel Puzzle Quest, Matt?
What about it?
Are we good? Are we hot?
We are hot.
Are the mics hot?
We got the on-air sign up.
Welcome to the Nintendo Dreamcast episode 82. Today we will talk about things such as Marvel Puzzle Quest, Destiny, Short Circuit. What else we got?
You need to talk about owning a game store because we've had
Owning
a
a
couple people
game
mention
store.
that.
Yeah, sure.
Spanish
Look,
tweets.
Midnight.
I'm pretty
Spanish
sure that
tweets.
guy. I'm pretty sure that guy accidentally tweeted us.
That's what Danny was saying. I don't
Yeah.
buy it.
No, he absolutely accidentally tweeted.
I think it was diehard listenership at all hours of the night.
That's false.
Okay.
So what's everybody been playing? Let's start out with that. What have you been playing, Ish?
Pretty much just Marvel Puzzle Quest and then some tabletop games with the family.
Tabletop. It's slowly eating into everybody's life.
It is slowly taking over more and more of my free time.
Daniel, what did you play?
I played
Destiny with me.
Yeah, I played some Destiny with you.
Some Witcher 3 because I've been spying your.
Yeah, I actually
first
been
one.
trying to get back into it so I can finish. I'm still not even done with Act 1 of the game because I keep getting sidetracked. Like, I finally told myself, like, no more side quests. And then I completed the mission where I saved Dandelion. And
Yeah.
then right afterwards, Diedrich's is like, let's assassinate the king. And it's a side quest. I'm like, oh, God damn it. No,
Spoilers. Never played past the first 30 minutes of the game. Jeez. Can you edit that?
I didn't even say which king, but whatever. There's like
Are there more
8
than
of
one
them.
kings?
Remember
There are a
how
lot
many
of
listeners we
freaking
lost with the
kings.
Dragon Age spoilers? Now this is happening?
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
So basically, Danny said that the king gets assassinated at the beginning of the game and spoiled the entire story of Witcher 3.
It's a side quest. It's not even relevant to the entire story.
Quest. Did you play anything else? Hots?
Yeah, I haven't played that as much, but I played a little bit. I did some Hearthstone, and me and Matt were like talking about Hearthstone for like an hour because he showed up at the store at like 11:30 as I was closing on Friday, and we actually started talking about. He mentioned Elder Scrolls Legends was supposed to come out this month, and it never did. And I was like, oh, I remember them announcing that. And I went home and like tried to look up more information about it. There's like literally nothing on the game.
What kind of game is Elder Scrolls Legends? Is that
It's
a card
supposed
game?
Supposed to be a Hearthstone clone.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a
Okay.
Hearthstone clone, except for the Elder Scrolls. But they don't even. There's like I couldn't even find an image of what like a card looks like or any indication of what the rules of the game were.
You kind of just swept it under the rug, I
Yeah,
guess.
and I mean after talking about it for so long. Once every year, I get into my Hex client and update it to see if they've made any changes to the game. So I played Hex for like half an hour earlier this week. I still get email updates from them all the time because they kickstarted it. And they're on like update number 82 since the game is like 3 years in development now. But like they just announced that they finally settled the suit they had with Magic. They still get to be a game afterwards, so it couldn't have been that bad.
I wonder if their countersuit was like, you guys, Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Hearthstone.
Go sue Blizzard. Yeah, but that's about all I've been doing.
Sweet. What about you, Matt? What have you been playing?
Nothing but Marvel Puzzle Quest.
So nothing.
Nothing.
Literally not a game.
Literally nothing.
Oh, I also took an hour and played Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zero Heroes because it was a free download for a couple of months ago.
I have that too. I played it for a little bit.
I just played. There's like one story mission, and then because it's like one map they made for the entire game. And after you finish a story mission, there's all these side quests you can do that happen at different times during the day on the same fucking map.
Yeah.
So I haven't done any of those yet, but I'm not too up on Metal Gear Solid. I'm just now figuring out that you play as old Snake in 5 instead of new Snake.
Yeah.
Cool.
What about you, James?
So I've been playing Pokemon Omega Ruby because I haven't played that one. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm doing my first ever Nuzlocke, which I've never done before. So it's pretty interesting. It is a really fun way to play the game. I think it's not the best way to play a game the first time, but since I played Alpha Sapphire already, I'm having a lot of fun with it. If you don't know what a Nuzlocke is, it's a self-imposed rule that you play. And the only Pokemon you can catch is the first Pokemon you encounter in each zone. So when you go to like Route 101, whatever the very first Pokemon you catch is, the only one you can catch in that zone. And if any of your Pokemon faint during a battle, you have to release them into the wild. So it's interesting. Luckily, I only had one guy faint, but he was a Zubat, so it wasn't much of a loss.
Nice.
So it's like TV show rules.
Yeah.
Like he only gets like one Pokemon like every 3 episodes when he goes to like a new area.
And they always lose Butterfree, fly across the sea and have sex with all the other Butterfree.
It is the first time that I've ever played with a Gyarados. Because I usually pick the water starter, so I have no. But since I picked the water starter in Alpha Sapphire, I picked Trico in this one. And so the first water Pokemon I encountered was a Magikarp. I was like, God damn it. So they don't evolve till level 20. So I caught it at like level 5. It was my second Pokemon. I'm like, well.
Why is it called Nuzlocke? Or whatever
maybe the name of the guy who made it. It's internet rules.
Sounds like some weird embrace your grandma would give you or something.
No, just I think the guy made it up. But it's pretty cool. I have a lot of fun with it. It's a lot more challenging, especially since, I've only been able to catch like 7 Pokemon, and so the gym battles are a lot harder because you can't just go catch the corresponding Pokemon. Yeah. So, but it's neat. I like it a lot. Other than that, I have been playing Destiny: The Taken King. Played with Danny the other night, but we were seriously outclassed in we tried to do some of the hard missions and we just got our butts blown out.
It's like one of the things I found most annoying about the Taken King is that every other expansion, like we were already like sort of where we needed to be, like we could kind of do all of the new material, but the gap between where the old game, the old game ended and like the new game ends is just exponential amount of gear you have to get and stuff like that.
Evidently, we should have gone and done the sword quest because it gives you an exotic sword, like heavy weapon that really is really powerful.
Oh, okay.
And
did you hear about the Black Spindle thing that we missed?
Yeah.
There is one map, Lost in Light or something like that. While it's the heroic daily, there's like this sub area opened up in the map where if you like speed run to it, you can get through a door before it closes and go in, fight a boss that's supposed to be really difficult, and then get a sniper rifle called the Black Spindle, which is, according to a lot of people, the year 2 version of
Black Hammer.
Black Hammer.
Yeah.
I wish Icebreaker. Yeah. God,
it'll come back around though because those missions repeat.
Just means we'll have to be daily. You have to wait for it to be daily heroic again, and we have to gear up beforehand.
After you got off, I fucked around and did some more bounties. I was able to get to 242 light.
Yeah, I've been like the last 2 weeks. I've been having some problems with my internet. Like a week ago, it wasn't so bad. Just something was going wrong every once in a while. But like the last week, I could not do anything beyond like basic internet operations on my computer. If you would like an example of how fucked up my internet was, when I was playing Hearthstone, animations would be delayed.
Yeah, because we were trying to. Destiny is zero fun if you're playing with somebody you cannot talk to them. And whatever's going on is I could hear Danny, but he could not hear me. And I did like my mic checks and everything. Like everything was solid. So yeah, I think there has to be something.
Oh no,
going
there's
on.
Definitely something wrong. And the worst part is,
Did you reset your router?
I reset my router like 3 times a day, and I knew if I called tech support, that's the first thing they're going to make
Power
me do.
down.
How old is your router?
I've only had it for a year.
That might be burned out.
Yeah, it could be, but it's the loaner router they sent me, so I'd have to get another. It's like I don't even really have a router. It's just like a modem that I can plug stuff into. So if it's burned out, they need to send me another one. What I ended up doing is I used to work for an internet company, and we had like applications where you could reset someone's service from like the company's end, or like reset the connection from those big like cable boxes you have in the middle of your block. I forget what they're called, but I couldn't call tech support because I don't have great cell phone reception in my house. I rely on a cell phone booster that I bought a year ago, but a cell phone booster plugs into your internet.
Oh, God.
So I eventually found it, like my Cincinnati Bell had an option where I could email them, and they would send me an
you have
email
Cincinnati
back.
Bell?
Yeah.
Ooh.
FiOp.
I have them. They're really good.
FiOps.
They ever have issues?
Yeah, this is the first time I ever had issues. And so I sent them an email, and they said they'd get back to me in 2 hours, and it took them 2 days. But the email said, like, your service looks fine. I asked them, can you just reset my service from your side to see if it's better? And they sent me an email saying they did, and now like my cell phone booster is working, my internet is fine, I'm getting my 8 gigabytes of download speed instead of like the 4 I was getting before. So I think that's all it was, is just needed a hard reset from their side, because I was like power cycling my modem like 3 times a day just to maintain even a semi-satisfactory internet connection.
Weird.
Well, but anyway, that sucks. But yeah, we played the Taken King a bit, but that's about it. Yeah, we've just been busy playing tabletop games, pretty much. Excuse me.
Fun stuff.
Well, so Short Circuit was the movie. Everybody watched it, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I watched it
A few weeks ago, but
20 years ago, but I have total recall memory, so should not be a problem.
What's the last name of Steve Gutenberg's character?
Gutenberg.
The Goots.
Goots. So do we want to get right into the Short Circuit? We will get to news first. I think we should get right into Short Circuit.
Just send it over to Danny for the rundown.
it's not a lot of news to deal with.
We don't have to. I mean, so first of all, what everybody think? You guys like? Do you like Short Circuit?
I actually thought it was one of the better movies.
Yeah,
we've
I
watched.
really like it.
So you're telling me with a straight face that Short Circuit is better than Cabin Boy or The Pest with John Leguizamo?
I would say so, yeah. There
I'd
was
say
actually
that.
scenes that I actually chuckled a little bit in the short circuit. Where,
Johnny Five alive!
You care more about the robot than you do about either of those characters in
really.
the other movies.
Bullshit.
I was just like waiting for the pest to take a bullet the entire time.
Hoping for him to.
Oh my god.
I am I would have thought by now that somebody would have made that robot. Like, it would be able to like remote
the
control.
eyebrows.
Yeah, like fucking Star Wars isn't even out yet, and you got the little like rolling fucking BB-8 droid, but we can't get a laser shooting Johnny Five on treads remote controlled.
That would be awesome.
So give us a rundown. Short Circuit. Everybody's seen it. This movie though.
I mean, it starts out with them testing out these 5 robots that all have shoulder-mounted laser beams.
Yeah. This is in the 80s, so that was especially impossible. Now you have to it takes a whole ship's worth of batteries to power a beam that takes 2 seconds to burn through a piece of metal. But
Yeah. It's like reminds me of like Predator or something with the little shoulder-mounted gun.
Yeah.
But they can blow up tanks with these little lasers they have. Clearly impossible technology for the time they came out, but whatever. And one of them gets zapped by electricity and overloaded. But when they do a diagnostic test, they're like, everything looks fine. They just put him back in the line. Meanwhile, he's like walking around, like, what's going on here? I think I'll just fiddle with these switches.
Electricity makes robots sentient.
Yes, exactly. He's like fiddling with switches and like talking to other. He's like chasing a little coffee robot because her little power cord is dangling behind her very seductively, I imagine. He was like, ooh, just following that little power cord until he gets smashed inside by a trash carrying robot. And the thing I think is hilarious. I don't know how much pressure that little trash robot would have to be using. Because, I mean,
he was pushing him sideways on his treads.
He's pushing him sideways on his treads. He's like, his treads were like he didn't even fall over. He was just like, and so I don't know how heavy he is, but I imagine he's pretty heavy if he can like take bullets like a champ like he does.
Yeah.
So it was like a very overconfident, like, that trash robot just way too strong, in my opinion.
It's got to lift lots of industrial robot trash. So.
I don't know. It seems like it was just pushing a couple of trash cans along on like a little wheelie bin or something. But he gets pushed onto a trash truck, and he's just like, all right, I'm cool with this, whatever. He's just like chilling on this trash truck and then he gets like taken out of the complex accidentally. He's like, barely misses the lockup, barely misses it. You know?
I should point out it's takes place in a government contractor like facility.
Nova Robotics.
Yeah.
And he gets he has a little misadventure afterwards where the security catches up to him briefly, but then they slam on the brakes because they get scared or something. And he flies off the bridge and parachutes onto the top of a little snack truck. And then gets to this crazy Catwoman's house.
Not just Catwoman. She has like all kinds of animals.
She's like the worst kind of Catwoman lady because she's got raccoons and possums too, and three-legged dogs.
She's about to get kicked out of her house because of all the animals.
Yeah, and she's also not a great judge of men, apparently.
Because she's getting attacked by this dude when he shows
little
up.
Jackass. Always out for a quick buck. Trying to sell the three-legged dog to some animal like laboratory. So she thinks he's an alien, and he's like, "Welcome to Earth. We're all really cool down here. Look through my Encyclopedia Britannica." Like that was like first time I'm like, "Oh yeah, everyone did have encyclopedias in the '80s, didn't they?" It's all 28 volumes.
I remember when we were younger, this was like the late 90s, we just got our first like really nice computer. And a door-to-door salesman sold us Encarta, like the big like 16-disc thing, encyclopedia for a computer. And my mom and dad like, this will revolutionize your guys' schoolwork and everything. I don't think I ever used that shit. And they paid hundreds of dollars for it at the time.
Yep. I think I used it for like one report, the one we had.
You would just type in horrible stuff in it to see if anything came up.
She keeps thinking he's an alien right until he's accidentally flipped over and she sees the Nova logo on his bottom. And then she gets fucking pissed. Yeah. Calls those warmongers. Come back down here and get your warmongering robot.
I remember Johnny Five trying to bang her. Did that happen? Or am
not
I just
not till
that?
later. Like once he starts watching a lot of TV, he starts watching like Saturday Night Live. Learning how to dance, and then there's a scene where he dances with her. Apparently, there was a scene in the original where it like implies they do it, and it did
has sex with Johnny Five.
It did so poorly with the test audience they took it out.
Yeah, I imagine that's kind of weird.
Well, there is the one scene where he busts in on her in the bathroom when she's in the tub, and he's like, "Oh, nice software." But
that means boobs.
She
locks the door.
She goes and calls the Nova to come pick up their damn robot, and then they mention that they'll have to disassemble him once they pick him up. So he's like, "Oh, disassemble, whatever, that's cool." And he's like jumping around, pretending to be a cricket or a grasshopper. And he's jumping, and he accidentally squashes the grasshopper. And he's like, "Oh, Stephanie, grasshopper disassemble, reassemble, please." And they're like, we can't. He's dead. He's like, disassembled is dead? And he's like, I don't want to be dead. And then steals the snack truck and almost drives it off a cliff. And that's when the first time they recover the robot and turn it off, and he somehow has the ability to just turn himself back on. It like only his head worked or something.
Right.
So he like picks up a wrench with his eyebrows and drops it on his own power button. And then he's like, "Get out of the car!" And he does that thing where his eyes turn red,
yeah.
and his laser starts glowing a little bit. And the little Indian guy's just freaking out all the time. I can't remember some of the stuff he said, but it was always like stereotypically almost completed an idiom correctly.
He speaks in cliches, and the cliches are always fucked up.
Yeah.
Like working like gangbangers. Yeah. I think that was from 2. I don't remember any of the ones from 1.
He's the main character number 2, if you don't know that.
I'm trying to think of some of the things he said, and he's like I think it's one of the things like, "Looks like the cat is out of the tongue now," or something like just like mixing up 2 idioms and stuff like that. Very bad, very bad. This is especially since he's like, "Where are you from originally?" And he's like, "St. Petersburg." And he's like, "No, I mean you're like your ancestors." "Oh, Philadelphia." I'm like, man, he's like 3rd generation. He still has the accent.
Yeah, that's pretty thick.
Maybe he's first generation. You're just tired of people asking that fucking question.
Just likes to fuck with white people.
Yeah, fuck with white people. I mean, that's a perfectly acceptable way to do it. It's not like we can say anything.
Yeah.
So he's like freaking out, and they pick him up. He steals the truck again, and he finds out he has a little locator on him, so he ditches it and goes back to Stephanie's house. And I think that's the scene where they dance, and he sees her in the tub. And then
it's a robo boner.
He's like,
"More than a woman to me."
Yeah. But what, like, one of the things I got is like twice in the movie they played the song like that "Where's Johnny?" she said song.
Oh yeah,
and I've never actually
Who's Johnny?
Yeah, I've never actually heard that song.
It's a terrible song.
I did hear the Weird Al Yankovic version of it, where it's a tribute to it's a song tribute to Ed McMahon saying, "Here's Johnny," he
right.
said.
I remember that, yeah.
And laughed in his special way, talking about the Johnny Carson show. So that's like one of the things that jumped out at me. But the robot the entire time is just doing like TV personality impressions.
Right.
Like where the boyfriend sees his girlfriend on TV talking about the robot, and there's now a $25,000 reward for it. So the jackass comes over with a sniper rifle, or trying to
hunting rifle.
It's like some sort of hunting rifle, trying to get information about where the robot is, and he's just making breakfast in the other room very badly. Like he's like, "For pancakes, add eggs," and he just takes 2 eggs and just jumps them in without even shelling them. Yeah. And then, there's like one of the funnier TV personalities he did is like a little cowboy. The guy's shooting at him.
It's James Cagney, I think. I think he's doing a bit from the original Scarface.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing he does. He's like flipping the coin. He's
Yeah,
like, "You ratted out your friends. When you rat out your friends, your enemies don't respect you no more. And then you got no friends." Yeah. But I think he's doing. He also has like a cowboy in there for a second, because like the guy shoots at him, and he's like, "I think you potted my hair there, sonny," or something like that. "That one might have potted my hair." And he like disassembles the dude's red dorkmobile or whatever, as the girlfriend, as Stephanie called it, I think.
In like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
He's kind of like all laid out in neat little parts on the lawn.
But after they chase the boyfriend off, then of course the Nova comes after him. We go, "Nova!" And then 3 of his companion robots come after him, and he manages to just outwit all 3 of them by throwing mud on their face and various other things.
And he reprograms
them to be the 3 Stooges. So he even like puts like dirt and moss on their head to resemble like curly, like the like little wraparound hair and stuff. And they're just like, they come out of the woods just poking each other in the eyes and stuff. And all the Nova guys from Nova are like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then another TV personality I remember is they were like, he's like, why not ask Newton? And he's like, do you really think it's a good idea talking to him? And he's like, couldn't Hoyt.
Yeah, that's one of those things I say all the time. I've said it for like my entire life, and I totally forgot I got it from this movie until I watched it again.
Couldn't Hoyt. But then they end up catching up to them again, and Johnny gets away they're in the back of a truck that have a whole bunch of spare parts for the robots. And so he just builds another version of himself that's sole purpose is to just run in a straight line and get bombed to death by Huey. So they think he's dead, and then they all go to Montana and live off of Gutenberg's land.
And he decides he wants to be called Johnny Five, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, number 5 is a stupid name.
Yeah. And Johnny Five is way better.
Yeah.
I liked it better.
Yeah. So his TV personality impressions were a lot better than the Pest's TV personality impressions.
Yeah, and he did them with a robotic voice too.
Bullshit. Haters gonna hate.
I seriously had no idea he was trying to do Beavis and Butthead. Like the first couple times he did it, the Pest. I was like, what is he?
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do another one on the Pest. Pest is a great movie. It was hilarious.
I'm sure I would feel the same way if I saw it when I was younger.
So I finished the review. What did you guys have to add to that?
I really liked it as a kid, and I still like it.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Got the nostalgia factor, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
A little bit racist in some parts.
It was the 80s. Everything was racist.
Yeah, like the Indian guy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Definitely the Indian guy.
I mean, M&M's. I don't know. I mean, you guys picked Short Circuit, too. It's good. Or Short Circuit. It's just one of those... Another movie that's actually pretty decent, so we don't have much to say about it.
Should have done Short Circuit, too, because that movie sucks.
Oh, yeah?
I love Short Circuit 2 better than the first one.
Really?
I really like it, too.
I remember it being worse, but I haven't seen it
No
in forever.
Gutenberg, so it does lose those points, but adds Michael McKean.
But yeah, not a ton to say about it.
I watched the documentary you sent me about the Ray Raymond, making Everybody Loves Raymond in Russian.
Oh, yeah. What'd you think?
Have you watched it?
Yeah.
It was really entertaining, and you know what it did? It did not make me like Everybody Loves Raymond. Maybe hate it even more.
Yeah.
I really hate that guy.
Yeah.
Deborah.
He was just super.
So is it just dubbed in Russian, or did they actually make a Russian?
Apparently they remade all these old 80s sitcoms from America and Russia, after the wall fell and all that shit. They remade The Nanny and and apparently that was wildly popular. It was ported to 20 different countries and
So these are recasts,
right? Yeah, they go in
they're
recast.
Yeah. Just like how he made The Office.
Yeah.
The thing is, sorry.
The problem is they won't like a lot of the jokes. They didn't like that his wife was so.
And it doesn't translate because the whole show is based on his wife, pretty much running his life and him being a married guy, and that's just what happens. Yeah. But in Russia, they're this makes no sense. A wife does not backtalk.
Ray is giant pussy. Russian not like it.
We would just smack our wife in the mouth, and then she would do the dishes.
Yeah.
So they had to find a way to make it Russian. It was very interesting to watch, but I was like, oh geez.
Why would they even try to force that then if it's such a bad match
fucking
for
money,
Russians?
man?
Because The Nanny and shit like that made millions of dollars for them.
Well, Nanny is about an airheaded beautiful.
In a way, it's also about a woman kind of
running a millionaire,
running a powerful guy's life. But I don't know, if you ever watch The Nanny, the father guy it's useless without her around. So, but she's just not as
Sony Pictures made a deal with the Russians, and then they paid him to go there and try to help them make it.
Oh, Ray Romano?
No, the creator.
The creator.
Oh, okay.
So it's millions of dollars. That's why they're trying to do it. And then he's over there trying to for him, he's I want it to still be my show, so I want it to be the same thing. And then
he's the stereotypical Hollywood Jewish guy, kind of Woody Allen-ish, but yeah. So it's really funny him interacting with the.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I liked I liked him. I found it more interesting them trying to just like translate this show. I gotta go blow my nose.
Okay.
I can't even talk.
Yeah, it was. I'm trying to remember what it was called. It's called Exporting Raymond.
Everybody loves Coista.
Everybody Loves Coista is what they ended up calling it.
Did you guys ever see The Beautician and the Beast?
No.
Is that in a movie?
It was a movie. Fran Drescher was in it. She played like a beautician again. Turned nanny for a foreign like a czar's 3 kids, and it's a made up country that they go to. But like she starts reading the history book at the country, and it's like so and so like whatever the name of the country was the sole victor of World Wars I and II. Like everything is so biased towards the country. It was great.
I think you mean patriotic.
Yeah. I actually watched The Nanny from like opening to close. Like
My mom
every
watched it a
single
lot when I was
episode.
younger. So
This was only like 5 or 6 years ago. I was
I
in
think
school.
my only exposure to The Nanny is the laugh and a couple of things on like 9gag. Didn't they have like a back talking butler that always dissed on
yeah,
the wife
Niles
or something
or
like that?
Giles or whatever his name was.
Yeah, he always just there's like a rival woman who was trying to
it
get
was
the
business
millionaire.
partner of the dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like the 10 best Giles comebacks on 9gag. This is my entire
That's
exposure.
the best
to
part of
Nanny.
every episode is when Giles would talk shit to her.
They ended up together in the end, didn't they?
Giles and that
The
woman.
butler and that woman. I think they ended up together.
I don't remember that. I don't know.
The ultimate love
I
story.
know that Nanny ends up with Mr. what's the name?
Mr. Shatfield.
Mr. Sheffield.
Yeah. So watched a lot of that. Anyway, Exporting Raymond is definitely interesting. Just check it out.
I will.
Kind of funny at times.
It was definitely a very interesting hour and a half.
Russians suck though.
Huh?
Russia seems like it kind of sucks though.
Yeah. You're like, we just do not understand. This is not funny. And I'm like, exactly. They get it. Everybody Loves Raymond's the worst show ever.
The idea of having fun as Russia is hanging off of a building and taking a picture
Yeah,
of
I've seen
yourself.
that stuff on Reddit.
Yeah. But just the idea of like Russian comedy. Like, what do they watch? Like, what is funny to them? Evidently, it's The Nanny.
Da.
Yeah. There's a scene where
Star
like the
Trek
guy's
4.
supposed to get hit in the balls, right? And
Yeah. And he's like, like
just-
jumping up and down.
just like kneels down on the ground and starts doing a little folk dance on the ground. Like
Well, they
not-
always do the dance with like, "Hoya, hoya."
Yeah. And he's like, no, it has to actually look like, make the sound. And the guy's like, that is not funny. He's incompetent. Why would he be kicked in testicles? This is not funny.
Oh.
yeah. So yeah, and like all the network executives are like ex-Russian mafia and like super scary and
KGB.
Yeah. He's like, all right, I really like this guy, so we're going to go ask the studio if we can cast him. But the Sony America told me to not act too excited because they would just reject it to show me who's in charge. And so they like go and sit down. He's like, we had a casting day, and I found a couple of guys, and they're like, well, what did you think of them? And they're like, this guy Vasily, whatever, like he was really good. We'd really like to cast him. And he's like, and you thought he was funny? And the guy's like, no. He's like, okay. So they end up like casting a guy that is like a Russian like soap opera star and just has no like grasp on comedy. So there's like a whole scene where they're trying to like do this juice gag where like he pulls out the juice out of the fridge and he goes to take a drink and he opens it and the lid doesn't pop, but it's like brand new. And he's like, oh shit, the lid didn't pop. And then his wife's there. He's like, have you drink out of this? And she's like, no. And he's like, well, are you sure? And she's like, no. He's like, well, I went to the store and just got it. Blah, blah, blah. I shouldn't drink this because the lid's popped. And she's like, just take a drink out of it. I took a drink out of it. And he's like, oh, so you did drink out of it. And that's the gag.
and it escalates as they talk. But
Yeah, it's fine. And that's the gist of the gag. But like, he's like, did you drink out of juice? And she's like, no. He's like, are you sure you didn't drink the juice? And she's like, just drink it. I had a drink. So you did drink the juice? Like very like serious, like soap opera. Like everybody's like sitting there, and he's just like, just for fuck's sake. But I just could not imagine being in the position of making the worst fucking comedy series ever made in Russia. Like on top of all that, like.
yeah. I'd actually not really seen much of that show before I watched that. And I went back and tried to watch
it's pretty much
terrible.
I can't stand Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh my god.
Hey guys, my life sucks, but for some reason I'm this super hot wife.
I can think of like one joke from Everyone Loves Raymond that I thought was funny.
Which one?
What was it? They did a prequel episode where it was them reflecting on before they moved in across the street from his parents, and they were looking for a house. And Raymond has a big map of the city posted on a wall, and he draws a circle around. He's like, we can't live anywhere in this circle, because then it's like anywhere my mom can make a sauce and then get it to us before it gets cold is like way too close.
Pretty good.
And then he's like, but we can't live outside of this circle, and draws a bigger circle around the original circle. This is what we call the overnight zone. So it's like we have to live somewhere in this donut where they can't visit us too often, but when they visit us, they won't stay all night. Like nice. The one good joke I can remember from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah. Yep. Terrible show.
Yep. But I watched that, enjoyed it. Also, I've been watching some weird, random stuff on Netflix. I watched Dimitri Martin stand up.
He's great.
He's pretty good.
It was good. It was interesting. I see why he's not a thing anymore. It was good, but it wasn't hilarious. I chuckled.
I mean, he has a lot of good stuff, and then misses a whole lot.
I liked his show when he had a show.
Simple Things.
Was that what it's called? I thought it was just the Dimitri Martin show.
It was Simple Things with Dimitri Martin.
Yes, I like that one.
The one thing about that show, that's one of my favorite things I've ever seen in Comedy Central is Dimitri Martin. He does the Simple Things. And each episode, he would focus on one or two categories. And one of the first episodes, he concentrates on time and how it alters people's lives so easily with the minus, the slightest miscalculation. And one of them is the guy that's too early to the rave. And it's him with his hair is in little bobs with little tassels on. He's got all the glow jewelry on, and he's got a whistle, just walking downtown before when it's daylight out, going toot toot, and his hands are all dancing in the crosswalk and stuff. And it's just I remember that. It's hilarious.
I don't know. I have trouble finding him funny because he reminds me of Zach Braff.
Oh yeah, just because they look alike, or what?
And their mannerisms are kind of the same.
I like Scrubs Zach Braff, but I heard he's pretty big of a douche outside of that.
Yeah, I liked him in Scrubs.
I've seen every episode of Scrubs.
I have too. I liked the doctor character. It was funny.
Oh yeah,
and the janitor, but I wasn't a huge fan of Zach Braff.
He has his moments.
That's one of the best things about the Scrubs is at the end when you're trying to figure out who the janitor is and stuff, and he watches that episode of that show where he's watching the movie The Fugitive, where Neil Flynn is playing the bad guy, the cop on The Fugitive, and he looks at him, he's like, "Did you used to be an actor?" And he's like, "I don't know." It's always such a mystery of what he is.
And he's like, "Yeah, I used to be an actor, and I gave it up because I like cleaning floors more."
I think there's one sitcom that's almost as bad as Everybody Loves Raymond, and that's Scrubs.
No way.
I don't know what it is about that show. I've tried to watch it, and I'm just I hate everything about this show.
I seem to hate everything about every sitcom, though.
Yeah.
False. There are several sitcoms that are excellent. Full House, great sitcom.
You gonna watch the new one?
Boy Meets World, great sitcom.
Have you seen the new one?
Anything from this century?
I liked How I Met Your Mother.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you like Seinfeld?
I never watched Seinfeld when it was on, and I'm rewatching it now on Hulu. I like it okay. I see it every time I watch it now since I've watched Curb
Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, I just see Larry David in every single situation.
Yeah, I've been wanting to rewatch it since I watched Curb. And
I have not seen Curb yet.
It's great. I'm about 2 seasons
so
in now.
I really want them to make another season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what about Scrubs that I just can't get my hooks in it.
I know. It's kind of an annoying show.
Hey, we're best friends. Doodly doodly doo, best friends. Something crazy happened. Doodly doodly doo. Just not my bag.
Yeah, I can see that. News? Or do you want...
yeah, let's news it up.
I watched Rick and Morty.
Oh, yeah? What do you like? You like it? Or are you just going to say that you hate it now?
No, I mean... I didn't like it as much as I thought I was going to, but I did like it. It was good.
You said it was no BoJack, but it was.
Yeah, I think BoJack is better. Not that there's a competition or anything. I don't know. What do you think?
Which is better? Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty's funnier. They service two things. BoJack is definitely more of like a dark comedy. And it's got more like social commentary in it, you know? So it's deeper, but Rick and Morty's just funnier.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I think like overall BoJack is funnier. Like one single episode of Rick and Morty is really funny. But after you watch it, like all of them in a row, especially, you start to notice that like every episode is exactly the same. They like go to some weird place. Millions of people die in really horrible ways. And at the end of the show, end of the episodes, everything's back to normal pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I like. I like it a lot.
Yeah. I think BoJack, the episodes are a lot different.
I can see that.
There's like a different arc and it builds as the season goes on.
I really like Doctor Who, and Rick and Morty is like if Doctor Who was just some fucked up, crazy madman.
Yeah. It's like Doctor Who and Marty and Doc Brown, Back to the Future. And
That's what it's based, I think, on.
Yeah,
Okay.
I saw a fan art where it was Rick and Morty, except it's Doc Brown and Marty McFly as Morty.
Have you guys watched any of the Peter Capaldi episodes of Doctor Who? Because I know the new season they just.
I've not seen any of the new season.
I've seen 4 episodes of Doctor Who.
Like lifetime total.
I think I saw one episode of the new Doctor, and I didn't like him, and I just stopped watching after that.
Capaldi, the new guy.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to get into Doctor Who, which is kind of weird because I'm like a super nerd, and so I like all the nerdy things. And I'm a Anglophile, like I love British humor, like all their, like everything. I would just put my dick in Britain. But I don't know what about Doctor Who. I think it's because I have this thing where I can't just start in the middle of a series. And so I keep trying to watch it with the first season that's available on Netflix, which is the guy...
Eccleston.
And the Scottish guy. Is that the Scottish bald
Christopher
guy?
Eccleston.
Yeah. Who's a great actor. I like him a lot of things, but it just is weird. Just not. And then people were like, we'll just jump in where David Tennant is in. But I was like, whoa, then I missed like a whole season.
You got to start with Eccleston because Rose carries over to the new Doctor. So
And I mean, even that's not really technically the beginning of the series.
well, I don't. Yeah, I'm
it's
only,
like the beginning of the modern Doctor Who,
Exactly.
right?
And I'm the big fan of a modern Doctor Who. I've never seen any of the older ones.
Yeah.
I'm the exact opposite.
You've seen all the older ones?
I've seen most of the older ones, not most of them, but a bunch of the older ones, and
I heard
all of the new ones, and I don't like the new ones that much.
I really like David Tennant.
Yeah.
He's awesome pretty much everything he does, so maybe I should just skip.
I like David Tennant. I like Matt Smith more.
Yeah, I think Matt Smith is probably the better Doctor.
What?
Man,
David Tennant's awesome.
Yeah, I'm all over David
I
Tennant.
like David Tennant too. He's probably second close second. I mean,
When we watched Fright Night, did we talk about the Fright Night reboot?
We did.
we mentioned the one with Anton Yelton, David Tennant. And
Yeah, have you guys
Colin
watched
Farrell.
it?
It's
No.
pretty good. I like it.
I haven't seen
It's
it.
fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And David Tennant is the like crazy old like TV star guy, except they reboot it to where they're in Vegas, and he's like a Vegas stage magician who claims like intimate knowledge of like he used to kill vampires and like hunt the undead or whatever. But it's fucking Colin Farrell is like the
vampire.
Yeah, next door, and it's just like this super creepy, like want to bang like this teenager's girlfriend. Like, perfectly encaptures everything that's awesome about the first movie. But we should. This is what I'm saying. It's getting into October. I think for October, this is my proposal: is we do Fright Night reboot, Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot, Amityville Horror reboot.
With Ryan Reynolds.
With Ryan Reynolds. And then what's a fourth reboot we should do? Evil Dead reboot.
Wow, I'm in luck. I've already seen like 3 of those.
I haven't seen the Evil Dead reboot.
have you seen the
others.
original Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I've seen the original and the reboot.
Reboot's just
I'm in a wheelchair, trying to get through the underbrush.
I say we flip the format on its head and we do 2,000 reboots
Okay.
of the 80s
Sounds good.
originals. We should start with Fright Night because the movie was good and I want to watch it again.
I'm game for Friday night next week.
I remember the Ryan Reynolds Amityville, or I saw it in the theater. I don't remember liking it. So
No, it was not great. It was not great. There got to be some other horror reboots we could watch, though. They're just as bad.
There's the new. You mentioned the new Friday the 13th, right? Yeah.
no, is it out yet? Is it on video? I don't do think it's in theaters.
No, it came out a long time ago.
Or the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot?
No, the Friday the 13th one. I think Michael Bay directed it.
I've seen the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot. I've never seen the Friday the 13th reboot.
It's supposed to be pretty bad.
We could do that one instead of like.
Are we looking for a fourth one?
No.
We could do it instead of Evil Dead.
The Evil Dead reboot is really bad.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah?
Jeez, I like it a lot. It
Let's
was
do Evil
fucking
Dead.
scary as shit.
Yeah, do
It was
Evil Dead.
genuinely scary. I remember, like in the theater, like I think I was like, "Holy shit!"
I think we have
been a while.
5 Mondays.
I was watching it on video or like on my computer, and I kept having to walk away. I just found it so dull.
Yeah, let's do that. That'll be good.
Make the caveat: if you haven't seen the original one, you should watch that too. Or so we
Evil
can
Dead. I've seen Evil
just
Dead.
make sure, like,
Yeah, you got if you haven't. Yeah, you have to watch both if you haven't seen them.
Yeah, I've
But-
seen
I haven't seen the original Amityville Horror.
There you go. That's a
pretty
creepy
decent.
movie.
Yeah.
yeah, that movie fucked me up when I was little.
Great.
Yeah, I remember being super freaked out. That and The Exorcist.
I've seen the original Exorcist.
Well, like I've talked about before, my parents had no like age cutoff, so it's like 8 years old. I'm like, I'm gonna watch this Amityville horror movie. Bad idea.
How old were you when you saw The Exorcist?
10.
Oh
I was
my God.
10 years old.
I was
It
in high
on-
school and it scared the shit
It
out of
was
me.
on TNT or whatever, and like my parents just let me stay up and watch TV on the weekends. I didn't have a bedtime like on Friday or Saturday night, and like me and my friends stayed up and watched it. And I was like,
I never watched anything.
"You
that
can't." I
crazy.
got forgot it's a podcast. Can't see my face, but it was like
He was
scared
terrified.
shitless.
Yeah. I've been a super big pussy when it comes to scary movies. So.
Yeah.
I didn't watch a lot as a kid. I don't watch a lot as an adult because, like,
Really?
even like the first season of Supernatural gave me some frights, like with all this little monster of the week shit.
I haven't seen it. Like the Evil Dead scared me because I saw it in the theater. It scared me like jump factor.
Yeah,
But like I didn't go home and was like, I don't think I've actually seen a scary movie that's like scared me afterwards. Since
Yeah.
there's the one movie, and shit, I can never remember what I've talked about on this podcast. We've done too many episodes, guys. But the movie No Vacancy, have we talked about that?
I don't think so.
no.
Do you know what
I
I'm
think I
talking
watched
about?
part of
No.
that movie.
It's
I'm guessing it has to do with a hotel or motel.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's a hotel.
It's Luke Wilson, or wait a minute, what's his brother's name? No, it's Luke.
and Owen.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Luke Wilson and his like wife or whatever. And I saw this a couple years ago, and it was actually pretty fucking scary.
I think I've seen part of this.
And like they're in this like back country town in like West Virginia, and they like stop off at this like roadside hotel because their car gets broken down, and like the tow guy comes and like drops them off there and like takes their car to the shop or whatever. And they're like they get settled in. It's like just a really weird like Super 8 that's like super dirty and shitty and stuff. And so they go in and like they turn on the TV, and like it's like this horror movie's on. It's like this guy like comes in and starts like stabbing and like stabbing this girl's boyfriend and then like raping her and shit. It's like super like disturbing. And they're watching it and they're like, wait a minute, that's this room. And that's where it goes from there.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Actually,
And-
I don't think I've ever seen No Vacancy. There was a.
It's like raining and they can't like, they can't get out. And there's like no phone, like the phones are dead or whatever. And it's like them trying to get out of like this creepy hotel.
There was a Criminal Minds version of No Vacancy that I saw. That's what I'm confusing it with.
I think I know what episode you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that movie was actually legitimately like, because there was no like supernatural element. It was just like,
Straight, yeah.
yeah, crazy, like fucked up hillbillies.
I think Hostel really fucked me up when I first time I saw it. Just all that
Cutting the tendons, like
blowtorching out her eye and stuff like that.
I fucking hate Eli Roth. He's the worst.
he's got that new one, Green Inferno, coming out soon.
Yeah, I know.
And didn't he redo like Cannibal? Was it Cannibal?
No,
did
Green
Cabin in
Inferno
the
is
Woods.
like a.
Oh, is
kind
that
of-
it?
Yeah,
yeah.
it's getting horrible reviews, like from people who like horror.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, that's the movie where they get dropped off. Like she's like trying to do like some sort of rescue sort of thing, or
Right,
like
there's these
Red Cross or something.
college kids who go to
But their
Papua New Guinea or something to
their
help.
helicopter crashes in the woods, and they just get eaten by Aborigine cannibals or something like that.
Right, yeah.
It's like super offensive.
Like he actually went to a tribe of like people that had never been like contacted, and like hired them to be in the movie and showed them Cannibal Holocaust. It was the first movie they'd ever seen.
Did it disturb them?
No, they thought it was funny.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, stupid white people.
According to him, anyway. Yeah, he's a douche.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I wonder how you contact people who've never been contacted and get across the idea of paying them to be in a movie.
I don't know if they'd never been contacted, but they.
I mean, what did he pay him? Like, pay him like a bag of beads or something?
I forget what he paid him.
Paid him in mangoes.
It was something weird. It was it wasn't like cash. It was.
Well,
souls
obviously,
of
what the hell
children.
are you supposed to do with cash?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. It was like food or something.
Yeah.
He sold him those 3 little rocks from Temple.
I think he may have gotten electricity to them or something. I don't remember. He was on Doug Loves Movies.
PS4s for all of them.
All right, so let's move on to the news. Let me check out the news.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah, there's really not much.
Mighty Number 9 gets a release date. We'll see if that actually sticks, right?
February.
Pushed to 2016.
God, it's so far away.
February 12th. No, February 9th, 2016 in America.
Ooh.
There's a possible voice actor strike about to go on. I don't know. I don't have a link for that.
I read it about it a little bit. Like one of the things they linked to an article about Will Wheaton talking about his experience with voice acting, but I didn't feel like reading that. Like what some of the things that they are asking for.
I'm so sorry. Sorry, I just shit in the middle of the podcast.
Oh my god!
I gotta get up.
Did you really shit yourself?
I didn't shit myself.
One of the like a couple of things they're asking for is they want more money for really strenuous voice work, like if they have to scream a whole lot. I can imagine if your character has to scream and you have to do like 10 takes of that before they're like, okay, well, that scream is the right one. How it would be like a pain in the ass to have that job. The other thing they are asking for is a more clear-cut definition or line or something between a voice actor and a motion capture artist, because it seems like a lot of the time they're hired as a voice actor
And
then
their
they're
stunts.
expected to do the motion capture that goes with the lines.
Those
they
all
do.
seem like really reasonable demands.
Yeah.
And they were talking about like with the stunt work, like any actor, if there's an actor on set that has to do even the most remote, minute stunt, there's always a stunt coordinator on set. However, with their mocap, no matter how physical it got, they had no stunt coordinator or safety coordinators on set to watch them do it.
Right.
So there's like, it's just stuff like if you have to do motion capture, you should be paid as a voice actor and a motion capture artist and stuff like
Makes
that.
sense.
Yeah, it sounds totally reasonable to me.
Yeah, especially with more and more stuff being like CG.
Yeah.
Like,
But if
they
there
need
was,
to
if there
nail
was
down those
actually a
rules.
voice actor strike, it would be really bad.
Yeah.
God, it'd just be like, it would be like the last 2 months for like another 4 months or something like that.
It would be actually really good. I've always wanted to be a voice actor, so maybe I could come in as a scab.
Cross the picket line.
Dick.
Like you've proved on our show, you can do an infinite amount of dialects, almost spot on perfectly,
Let's do this.
especially if they're Russian or Asian.
Do you need Russian? Maybe they need somebody to redub Grand Theft Auto 4.
I get paid now?
That's one of the biggest points on that is the guy from GTA 4, how little he got paid for the success of the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the other thing they ask for is if a game sells more than
2
2
million.
million copies, they want like an additional stipend or royalty or something.
A back end kick based on performance.
Yeah.
Seems reasonable again. I support them.
Though Will Wheaton says it's not all about the money.
It's all about the base.
You leave right now. Get up and walk out.
I'm tired. I want to go to bed.
Does Will Wheaton do a lot of voice acting work now?
He does a lot of audiobook readings. I know that he's he did Ready Player One and he did Armada.
That's nice.
Well, good for him.
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
PS4 is finally getting a Twitch app. You've always been able to stream on Twitch, but
Whatever.
There's never been really an
gives
app.
a shit.
apparently Xbox One's had one for a while.
Yeah, since release, I think.
Yeah.
Day one.
Up Twitch's
With
ass.
I'm going to Twitch my backwards compatibility Xbox One pretty soon.
It is because PlayStation, they embraced Ustream. So they lost that battle there.
So Destiny continues to fuck with its viewers. You remember like Raid Secrets, that whole subreddit about people just infinitely exploring Vault of Glass looking for more secrets in it?
Yeah.
Now there's this new thing. apparently in a Game Informer, they talked about a gun called Sleeper Simulant. That's it's a fusion rifle that takes up a heavy spot, rather kind of like the Methaclass, except not a primary. So people are going ballistic trying to find this thing, and there's even a new Reddit for it for like Secret of the Sleeper or something like that. Yeah, search for the Sleeper. Apparently, if you play the game long enough, there's little items that drop that have weird code names, and you can give them to the gunsmith for added reputation. So people are like, I bet that's how you get the Sleeper Simulant.
Yeah, I got a really weird drop the other day, and it's like an item like that goes in my consumables, but it doesn't. The only option is discard it, and it's like a unique item, and it's got like year 2 on it, and it's like this must be used by the Cabal for something or other. But my only option is to discard it.
Yeah, so there's like just more of Bungie just fucking with their fan base. Like, oh, there's this really cool gun. We're not going to tell anybody how to get it. We're just going to mention it in a Game Informer and just move on.
What's the 3 of coins?
That's another thing they fixed. There's like an item you could buy where it's in a consumable, and you would like consume it, and the next like big boss you fight has an increased chance of dropping a purple item, which is like legendary. And there was some abuse you could do with it.
No, it's exotic. Dropped exotics.
Exotics? Oh, exotic. I thought it was just a purple drop.
Nope.
Oh, okay. There's some abuse you could do with it where you could fight the same boss over and over and over again, as long as you let the boss kill you at the same time you kill him by using like a rocket launcher. And they like got rid of that for some reason.
You could run in. You could take the item. You could run in on the boss. You could snipe him 3 times with a sniper rifle, run up to him point blank range, shoot him with a rocket launcher. It would kill him, and it would kill you at the same time. Drops stick around, but it respawned you, and it respawned you with the buff still. So you could just run in and keep doing it, and he would just drop exotics like time after time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, we should fix that.
Minecraft is adding Oculus VR support next year, which is notable because the guy who originally made it said they would never add Oculus VR. Then Microsoft bought it.
Yep, from Mojang.
Mojang.
Ongyang.
There's an article on Polygon where they did an interview with someone at Xbox, and they talked about. Does anybody remember 1 versus 100 on Xbox 360?
Yeah, I remember that.
They talked about wanting to bring something like that back to Xbox One, where it's like some sort of huge community game.
Yeah,
that's a scheduled.
I played that like twice a week with my whole family.
Oh yeah, yep, it was pretty.
Did you ever win anything?
Yeah, like the Street Fighter 2 downloadable arcade game, a couple gamer picks, and different themes, and some.
I think that's a good
points.
idea. I think that could be fun.
Yeah. The reason they canceled it originally is because it didn't make any money, since they had they had to hire a live newscaster,
Chris Cashman,
who like did live commentary on the game, and between like him and developing the game and coming up with all the questions every show, it was like they weren't getting enough out of the advertising they were running on it, so it actually ended up losing money.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I was wondering why they canceled that.
Yeah, so they'll have to take another shot at a business model where that could be affordable.
We're distracted by some guy who's backing up repeatedly.
It's this crazy fucking lady. She lives in her car, and she has a dog. She lives in the car with the dog, and the dog lives in the car, and she never lets it out. She just sweeps the shit off onto the street. And so, like, I've had to call the SPCA on her, but she, like, keeps running away, and she's crazy, and I hate her, and now she's just on the sidewalk.
One wheel on the curb.
Wasn't expecting you to be here.
Yeah, like, she's literally about to park on the sidewalk, I think. She's probably drunk as shit.
She walks around like she is all the time.
She bought Batman Love Letter from you, though, right?
No, it's not the same lady.
Oh, it's not
this
the same
lady literally lives in her car.
Okay.
Has no money. I don't know how she gets gas.
Siphons it.
I think she's just in a park on the sidewalk.
You know what? Good enough.
Oh, my God. This is like her 8th attempt.
One more time.
She's literally just pulling up on that sidewalk.
Nail that car, nail the car. Oh, man.
One more time.
Please nail it. From my angle, she's really close to that car behind her.
So, B and Matt were just standing out on the other side of the building on Friday, just talking outside. And some guy was, like, backing out of a spot. And he's, like, He's like, he clearly had enough room if he just did like a 3-point turn to like get out. But he just like kept going back and boom, just like slams into the car right behind him. And I mean, I'm like sitting here, I can't even like listen to what Matt's saying because I'm just like watching this guy. Like, how can he do? I mean, like, no shame whatsoever. How can like he's got two guys just standing here like watching him? How does he know like that's not my car? Why would he like even risk?
I probably would have said, like, hey, that's my car, man.
I've done that before. You get overconfident when you have too much room. You just back up too much.
I mean, I could understand it if it was like on the street corner all alone and there was like no consequence whatsoever. But if there was like
still fucking trying to barrel
if there was like
apart.
two people standing there, I would have been like, oh shit, this might be one of their cars. Maybe I should just be a little more careful and do the 3-point turn so I don't have to have an awkward conversation.
Yeah.
Then again, I'm not a terribly aggressive or social person, so maybe he's like, whatever. I don't care if this is their car. If they want to come over here and talk to me, maybe I'll just pull my gat out on them.
Oh, because he was black, so he had a gat?
He was a
black
white
in
guy.
from the 90s, apparently.
How was closing the store on Friday?
It was all right. It was like dead.
Did you do the Magic draft?
Yeah, me and Ryan had to jump in ourselves because there were so little people here.
Yeah.
Well, we got the event on the books, just like 5 more to go.
Yeah, it was the new Magic set, the pre-release last weekend, and since we didn't have, we were a new store, we couldn't get the pre-release kits. So, like, every Magic player in Cincinnati was playing at a pre-release.
I think we can just skip the rest of this news. None of it was interesting.
PC no longer a top gaming platform for kids. I didn't know it was. That's what I found surprising.
Yeah.
I was assumed it was like consoles
iPads.
or
Yeah, iPads.
or I assumed iPads had overtaken it like 5 years ago, but apparently that just happened. So
I've never slashed somebody's tires. Like, if you stab their tires, do they like blow up? Would it like hurt my hand, you think?
Oh, yeah. It can push a knife right back out into your palm, so you gotta be careful.
Really?
yeah, you got to just hold it real tight. I've never done it either, but
I think I'm just going to slash your tires. Well, then they'll come tow it away.
You
You don't understand. Like,
This podcast will be evidence in your vandalism trial.
I wouldn't do it.
The dog lives in the car. Like, she doesn't let it out. Like, it shits in the car, and then she sleeps on the sidewalk. I just feel so bad because the dog like lives in a car. She's got like trash bags taped up on the inside and shit.
Did she successfully park?
No, I mean, she might have stopped, but she's still on the sidewalk.
Yeah, she's still on the sidewalk.
And she keeps switching gears because her brake lights reverse lights keep coming on.
Oh, no, she's still going, man.
There's no doubt in my mind she's drunk as fuck.
You should just call the SPCA now, where she can get
Dedication.
away again.
Car's on. She'll get away. Anyway.
So yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You were supposed to talk about how to start a game store.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not prepared yet.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about doing a podcast in and on itself on tabletop gaming and running a game store. But, yeah. This one's already out. Jesus fucking Christ. This lady is still trying to bark.
Can you do the thing where it's got like endless smoke and you just like keep breathing it in? How much smoke can you get out of your...
I mean, I can get a lot.
Because like my nephew's friends all do it, like, and there's no way they do it just for the look of like blowing out all the smoke.
I fucking hate those dudes.
Yeah.
The E6.
Yeah, the fucking clouds, man. We're making clouds. I hate going into E6 stores too because everybody that works there is a giant fucking douchebag. One dude, like, I went in the other day to get some juice, and the guy had like a giant, like, oversized baseball cap with like the sticker still on the top of it. He said things like "bro" and.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Key and Peele skit about like people that wear the stickers on their hats?
Yeah.
You have?
No, I haven't.
Well,
but
there's like a dude wearing a cap with like the sticker still on it, and he's like, and then like Kay comes out and he's wearing a hat, but it's like still in the bag, and it's still got a sticker on it. It's just like an escalation until eventually, dude just has like a display case strapped to the top of his head that just has like a hat in the middle of it.
Isn't it Key and Pill?
Yeah.
Or, what did I say? Key and Peele?
Key and Peele.
Key and Peele.
K&P.
Where they broke up?
They just canceled the show. Like they stopped doing it.
Yeah, they broke up. They were on Reddit. One of them was like, "Yeah, we're not working together anymore."
Yeah, because I know Keegan-Michael Key got a deal to do the substitute teacher show full time, something like that. And then
Cool.
Jordan Peele's doing those stuff.
yeah, well, if you're not going to do the store thing, I think we're about
Owning
done.
a game store. There's not a lot to talk about yet. Sorry.
Okay.
It'd be really boring.
Sorry, Z-Melts.
I'll get there. I just have to prepare. I guess I have to come up with some
You're
stuff
still
to
in your
talk
first
about.
month, too, so it's not like you've been doing it for a while.
Basically, you have to rent a store,
Yeah.
rent some space,
Get a
contact people that own the
distributor.
games.
Yeah.
No emails this week.
No, not when last I checked yesterday. I haven't checked today.
No.
All right, guys. Well, tune in next week for Fright Night, the reboot.
And maybe some midnight Spanish tweets if they happen again.
Oh, an email said Nintendo Dreamcast Podcast at gmail.com.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.